All right, greetings. Welcome back to Blackbird News, where everything is connected. How y'all doing? Good to see you. Excuse me. Thanks for being here. We are live on YouTube, X, and Telegram. If you are in the Telegram chats, or if you could go to the Telegram chat, excuse me, t.me/Black Bear News chat, and let me know if you can see the video or if you can see and hear the video. I can't actually log on and check it myself because there's no way for me to control the sound on Telegram. Like, I can't mute it. So it's just, if I go look at the stream on Telegram, it's just gonna feedback. So, but you can watch the stream on Telegram, t.me/Black Bear News chat. You can watch it there. You can watch it on YouTube. You see me in the Telegram? All right, great. Yeah, so whatever platform you wish to watch on, Rockfin is not happening, I guess, right now, because they're forcing people to do premium streams, I guess. I'm seeing all of the latest streams on Rockfin are all premium. And so I guess I'm boycotting Rockfin for the moment until they bring that back or get rid of it. All right, Victory Gins on X. You can watch me on X too. X is there. Live on X. Which, I don't know, X is kind of a cool place to watch the show. So yeah, sorry to the Rockfin followers. I don't know what to do about that. Maybe they'll, maybe they don't care. Maybe they'll get enough pressure that they'll roll it back. I don't know. It kind of sucks because I really like Rockfin, and that's my preferred place to watch videos. So for me now, I feel like I can't really even support the channel or the platform anymore because they're not really supporting the journalists there. So anyways, if you want to watch on Telegram, you just join the Telegram channel, t.me/Black Bear News chat. That's another place that you can watch the show. I can't really interact with you there, but you can watch. All right. And then what I'll do is, actually, give me 1 second. Oh, is it there? Can I see it? I don't know if I can see it. Can I see it on Telegram? You say you can see it on Telegram. I can't see it on Telegram. Can you guys see me on Telegram? Is it happening or no? Sorry, I don't want to. I guess I'll start streaming there. Am I going to record it? And then I'm going to. I guess I'll start streaming there. Am I going to record it? Sorry, you're going to get a little bit of. I'm going to record it. Start streaming there. Am I going to record it? Sorry, I'm going to get a little bit of. I'm going to record it. Start streaming there. Am I going to record it? Sorry, I'm going to get a little bit of. Okay. So I guess it's going, and we'll see. I don't know if y'all can see me on Telegram or not, but it is going. It looks like the stream is going on Telegram. All right. Okay. Sorry for all that. Let's get into it. If anybody has any news or insight as to what is going on Rockfin, or any other anecdotal stories about it, let me know. Kind of sad to see it go. I have enjoyed Rockfin for a long time. I thought it was a pretty cool channel. Weather station in Seville, Spain has recorded a maximum temperature of 42 C, 107 Fahrenheit today. Absolutely ridiculous heat for May. Pretty hot for May. For sure. From Climate Dad, biodiversity loss in all species and every ecosystem linked to humans. I don't see how. Yeah, I mean, sweeping synthesis of 2,000 global studies leaves no doubt about the scale of problem and role of humans, say experts. Let's see if we can find this. But I mean, it's kind of self-evident, I guess. More humans, less animals. That's kind of how it goes. Less insects, less trees, less clean water. It's kind of how it goes. It's a couple months old, this article. Not that old, actually, March. Humans are driving biodiversity loss among all species across the planet, according to a synthesis of more than 2,000 studies. The exhaustive global analysis leaves no doubt about the devastating impact humans are having on Earth, according to researchers from the Swiss Federal Institute of Aquatic Science and Technology and the University of Zurich. The study, which accounted for nearly 100,000 sites across all continents, found that human activities had resulted in unprecedented effects on biodiversity. According to the paper, Florian Altermatt, a professor of aquatic ecology at the University of Zurich and head of EWAG, said it's one of the largest syntheses of the human impacts on biodiversity ever conducted worldwide. The team looked at terrestrial, freshwater, and marine habitats, as well as including all groups of organisms, including microbes, fungi, plants, invertebrates, fish, birds, and mammals. Human pressures distinctly shifted community composition, essentially which species live where, and decreased local diversity. Researchers found on average the number of species at human impacted sites was almost 20% lower than at sites unaffected by humans. No duh. I think that's fairly simple to understand. Particularly severe losses were recorded among reptiles, amphibians, and mammals. According to the paper, their populations are often smaller than invertebrates, which increases the chances of extinction. The analysis covered 5 drivers of decline: habitat change, direct exploitation of resources such as hunting or fishing, climate change, invasive species, and pollution. I know there's a schism among, God dang it, among people who, there's a schism in the thinking among people who think that climate change is a ruse, or that believing that humans might be not doing good things to the planet is somehow a bad idea. And on one hand you say that, and then on the other hand you're like, but look at all the damage we're doing, the microplastics and the endocrine disruptors and the poisons and the dioxins and the pharmaceuticals down the toilet and the water supply and the radiation and the on and on and on. Right? How humans destroy everything. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure that there are people out there that are, and I'm absolutely not sure. Sure, positive, super positive that there are people out there willing to use our destruction of the planet, the end of days, and all that kind of good stuff for their benefit, and they're doing it hand over fist, of course. That doesn't mean it's not happening. That is a misunderstanding of very large proportions. Just because rich people still fly in private jets, and tell you that they're concerned about climate change, doesn't mean that it's not happening. That's not, that's I get the hypocrisy. I get it. And we'll just follow this little section up here. Where are we? 6 gray whales found dead in San Francisco Bay Area in less than a week. And there's been a number of whales that have washed up recently here where I'm at. So it seems to be a trend that the whales aren't doing so good. I wonder why they aren't doing so good. 6 gray whales have died in the San Francisco Bay Area in the past week, and authorities are trying to determine what could be causing the sudden deaths of the stranded marine mammals. California Academy of Sciences and Marine Mammal Center confirmed that the whales died between May 21 and 28, and noted that their necropsy response efforts to determine what has been happening is challenging, quote unquote. Necropsy response efforts and data collection have been challenging for a number of cases due to the inaccessible locations that hinder full post-mortem investigations, as well as poor tissue quality from advanced decomposition and the lack of available locations to tow for further investigation, officials said. As of today, May 28th, 2025, a necropsy was conducted at Kirby Cove in the Marin Headlands, and it is suspected that this subadult male is one of the 2 whales that was sighted on May 26, 2025. The cause of death is still under investigation. The other individual has not made landfall. The Marine Mammal Center added that this is the most. I guess I can't see whether there's a voice chat going on.
Center added that this is the most.
Sorry.
Yes. I can't.
Sorry.
Sorry. Yes. I can't.
I don't know if anybody's watching on Telegram or not. We'll see. I suppose it's going. I also made a scientists are mystified, baffled, curious, blah blah blah. Right, dumbfounded, stupefied. The Marine Mammal Center added that this is the most number of dead gray whales since the unusual mortality event that caused the species to lose roughly 45% of the population just a few years ago. That's capitalized, unusual mortality event, or UME. Our team has documented more whales in the bay this year than any year in at least 2 decades. Stark reminder that this busy commercial environment is one we share with our ocean neighbors. We are committed to continuing our work to study these animals and work with stakeholders to find solutions to protect them. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. You can't see this. This is not good hosting on my part. My bad. My bad, peoples. If you are watching on Telegram or can see me on Telegram, would you please give me a shout? Or let me know if it's working on Telegram. I don't know. I made an account on Kick. Anybody watch any videos on Kick? KICK.com. I made a Blackberry News account there. Maybe I'll stream to Kick next week. I don't know. Kind of trying to avoid Rumble because Rumble is tied to Peter Thiel, one of the most evil people on the planet. So I'm trying to distance myself from the very evil people. I'm still, but I'm, broadcasting on X and on YouTube. So I don't know. Maybe I should just broadcast to all the evil sites and just immerse. I'm trying to get away from it somehow. I don't know. I don't know. All right, we're going to move on to other news. Of course, Israel is always in the news. But before we get there, this is, we hold these truths to be self-evident type of post. The term homeless shouldn't even exist in civilized society. So the fact that we have homeless K through 12 students is an abomination that makes me sick to my stomach. This is 50 Shades of Way. California schools see a 9% surge in homeless students as funds decrease. The surge in homeless students as lots of people are looking into where is all the money going in California? Who's spending what where? Because it doesn't seem to be getting to the people that need it. And, let's look a little deeper into this. Nearly 20,000 more homeless students were enrolled by the first Wednesday in October, known as Census Day. during the 2024-25 school year. This increase represents a 9.3% change from the previous school year, and it means that the homeless student population in the state has surged 37% in the last decade. Not to mention all the people with, full-time jobs that are homeless, 2 or 3 jobs that are homeless. It's hard out there for people trying to stay in their houses. Or people just trying to make it. All right. Glenn Greenwald recently had a sex tape released. Somebody is trying to smear Glenn Greenwald. Who was a heck of a journalist. And he's been speaking out against Israel, and this is probably why. And he put out a post about the videos last night. Videos were released online depicting behavior in my private life. Some were distorted and others were not. They were published without my knowledge or consent, and its publication was therefore criminal. Though we do not know exactly who is responsible, we are close to knowing, and the motive was a maliciously political one. As for the content of the videos, I have no embarrassment or regret about them. The videos depict consenting adults engaged in intimate actions in their private lives. They all display fully consensual behavior, harming nobody. Obviously, it can be uncomfortable and unpleasant when your private behavior is made public against your will. That's why the behavior is private in the first place. But the only wrongdoing here is the criminal malicious publication of the videos in an attempt to malign perceived political enemies and advance a political agenda. Others are, of course, free to form their own judgments, as some are prone to do about others' private lives. It won't change my work. It will continue all the many prongs of my journalism. I will, he says, and pursue the causes most important to me exactly as before. Jimmy Dore saying the people trying to silence and discredit Glenn Greenwald have failed spectacularly. This will only bring more attention to his amazing journalism that threatens the powerful. That's what it is all about. The powerful trying to silence one of their strongest critics. This is their playbook, just like what they did to female journalist Khadija Ismailova from Azerbaijan, who had sex tapes released in an attempt to silence her. In 2012, after investigating corruption involving President Ilham Aliyev's family, she received a threatening letter with intimate photos taken by hidden cameras in her apartment. When she refused to stop her reporting, the videos were leaked online. Ismailova continued her work, and in 2019, the European Court of Human Rights ruled that Azerbaijan violated her privacy and freedom of expression, ordering the government to pay her damages. And we've seen it time and time again. That is the playbook. Julian Assange, Russell Brand, they do it to anybody who's getting a little too spicy out there. A little too close to the truth. It's one of the ways. From Lord Bebo. So because Glenn Greenwald is speaking up for Palestine and harshly attacks Israel, someone leaks a sexual video of him. Isn't that a conspiracy theory that everyone is blackmailed by people who keep such videos of everyone for just such a purpose? Hold on, I'm going to share this again. And from Max Blumenthal, my take on these Glenn Greenwald videos is that I support military intervention to stop the genocide in Gaza. I do too. There's been a couple of good videos out there about people saying, you know, hey, we support a coalition of anyone who's willing to fight this. Somebody has got to get in there and stop this. And I wish I did have a video I saw on Instagram, and I don't know if I saved it or not. Oh, sorry, I got sidetracked. Whoops. My God, man. Get it together. Do I have it in my saved? I think this is it. Here we go. Let's see. Let's see if we can watch this video, okay? What? Oh, I think the post is not there anymore. Huh. You know, they don't want people to see this post. Let's see. I think I can still watch it on Instagram. That's funny. They're like, this link is broken. No, it's not. It's right here. I'm watching it. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Can we get it? See you guys. Let's see how we're going to show you this. So basically this post is saying we've launched a campaign to establish an international armed force to stop the Gaza genocide. We call upon 8 states of the Hague Group for Palestine to take action now. I'll try and get this up on the screen so we can see it.
But it can be done.
Maybe you guys can just hear this.
We've just launched a campaign to mobilize an international military force to stop the genocide. If you agree that this is needed, join us at Protect Palestine and listen to the next couple of minutes for instructions on how to make this succeed. There are already 8 states that are in a strong position to form an armed coalition to be deployed to Palestine. These states formed the Hague Group for Palestine in January 2025 to work together to, quote, end Israeli occupation of Palestine and remove obstacles to the realization of the right of the Palestinian people to self-determination, end quote. The states are Bolivia, Cuba, Colombia, Honduras, Malaysia, Namibia, Senegal, and South Africa. Together, these states have the power to conduct a military intervention to stop the genocide, protect civilians, ensure unhindered aid, and help achieve Palestinian liberation. This cannot be done through the UN system because the USA has a veto over the Security Council, but it can be done in accordance with international law under the doctrine of humanitarian intervention to prevent genocide. This requires public pressure on them to act now. So here's what you can do. I've listed here the email addresses for the Hague delegations and social media profiles for each of the UN missions of these 8 states. Having worked in lobbying at the UN for several years, I guarantee you that if each of these states received over 50 messages, it will be brought to the immediate attention of their foreign ministers. Email them to request they form an armed military coalition ready to be deployed to Palestine to stop the genocide, protect civilians, ensure unhindered aid, and guarantee Israel complies with international law. Use your own style, but be encouraging. Remember, we are asking these states to show the ultimate form of solidarity with the Palestinian people, and they need to know that when they do, the world will be on their side. If you want, there is a template email on protect-palestine.com. After you've emailed them, make a public post to their social media accounts to let them know that you have. This will take 5 minutes of your time, but if we act together, it will ensure the demand is immediately put on the international agenda. Thanks for watching, and follow Protect Palestine at ProtectPal on X, where we'll keep track of progress.
Okay.
We've just launched a campaign to
What are your thoughts on that? I know people don't have a lot of hope in something like that. But something's got to break. Something's got to give. I don't know what. Oh, continued news out of Israel. Doctors in Gaza needed to use CT scans to figure out why dead children had such small entry wounds. Turns out Israel is using bombs designed to expel tiny pebbles that enter the body and cascade so violently through it that they dissolve the spine. Evil doesn't begin to cover it. And this is someone posting about just this. Israel orders the closure of Al-Awda, North Gaza's final operating hospital. Also, Israel has opened fire on Irish peacekeepers, which is interesting because a week or two ago, there were some diplomats from countries in Europe that were, suggesting that, maybe they'd like to see a ceasefire happen. And as they were there, coincidentally, they were opened fire upon by the IDF. The Irish have been very outspoken in their support of Palestine and their condemnation of Israel. And so is it any wonder that the Irish peacekeepers have found themselves under fire by Israeli troops, of course. Par for the course. Let's see. Also, in other fairly large news, Mossad has been named by Israeli lawmakers as the funder of the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation. Mossad. Named as the funder. The weaponized aid organization is the linchpin of Israel's plan to ethnically cleanse northern Gaza by forcing the starving population into concentration camp-like hubs. And he goes on to say, biometric concentration camps marketed as aid hubs, all run by U.S. mercenaries and paid by Israeli intelligence via a Swiss shell company founded by the biggest names in humanitarian aid, including the former CEO of the World Central Kitchen. appalling. All right. Guys, if you like this show, if you want to support the show, you want to see the show continue to come to you for free Monday through Friday. That's why we're not streaming on Rockfin anymore, or for now, is because Rockfin has removed the option to stream for free. And so I'm not trying to force anybody to pay to watch this channel. Everybody can do so at their own volition. So yeah, so I'm streaming to some other place. Right now I'm streaming to Telegram as the third option. And I don't really know if people are able to see it or not. I am recording the stream in Telegram, so it should be available for playback in Telegram later. At least that's my hope. So if you want to watch the video on replay in Telegram, you can do that. And considering some other destinations as well. Are you guys, I have not seen any new comments on the YouTube. Are you guys okay with is nobody commenting, or are your comments just not getting through? Because I haven't seen a comment on YouTube in like 10 minutes, more than 10 minutes, 12 minutes, which seems a little off. Are you guys, is it still going to YouTube? Just trying to make sure. Is everybody still there? Okay. Caleb, thank you. All right. Just trying to make sure. If I don't see a comment for 12 minutes, it generally tells me that maybe something's wrong with the stream. Trump doesn't rule out pardoning Diddy. He used to really like me a lot. So did Epstein. Oh, you guys are okay. Thanks. Thanks for the comments. I guess you guys are just watching. All good. It was just a little quiet there for a second. Made me a little nervous. All right.
Apprentice, you mentioned once in 2012 that Diddy was a good friend of yours back then. He has since found himself in some very serious legal trouble.
Yeah, that's true.
Would you ever consider pardoning him?
Well, nobody's asked. You had to be the one to ask, Peter, but nobody's asked. But I know people are thinking about it. I know they're thinking about it. I think some people have been very close to asking. First of all, I'd look at what's happening. And I haven't been watching it too closely, although it's certainly getting a lot of coverage. I haven't seen him. I haven't spoken to him in years. He used to really like me a lot, but I think when I ran for politics, that relationship busted up from what I read. I don't know. He didn't tell me that, but I'd read some little bit nasty statements in the paper all of a sudden. You know, it's different. You become a much different person when you run for politics and you do what's right. I could do other things, and I'm sure he'd like me, and I'm sure other people would like me, but it wouldn't be as good for our country. As we said, our country's doing really well because of what we're doing. So it's not a popularity contest. So I don't know. I would certainly look at the facts. If I think somebody was mistreated, whether they...
I apologize for that incoherent rambling. I don't know what the hell he was saying. Sorry. I thought he was actually going to form like a thought, and that didn't happen. Thanks for the super sticker, Scott Andrews on YouTube. I appreciate you. Word. Let's watch this really good little piece here on Friedrich Merz. the German chancellor, and the fact that he was a former BlackRock executive and what he is doing now as chancellor. Here is Revolutionary Blackout Network. Nick, he's going to tell you a little bit about what's going on there. Hold on. Sorry, I don't know what's happening here. I think I have too many tabs open, which is a very old school problem, but we'll try this again. Let me know if you can hear this. If you can't hear this, I'm going to have to start it again. Can you guys hear this? Sorry. That's annoying. All right, let's try it one more time. If you could, let me know if you can hear this. All right, here we go.
The energy crisis within Germany. It is so bad that many prominent German politicians have come out in support of restoring the Nord Stream pipeline because they realized after Nord Stream shut down, it came at a great cost to the German people. Nina Scheer, the Social Democrat energy spokesperson, claimed that U.S. sanctions against Russian energy and against the Nord Stream 2 is illegal and violates international law. And Friedrich Merz is openly shutting these politicians down by claiming that there's no way that Germany will ever restore the Nord Stream pipeline. Isn't it interesting how the entirety of the West accused Russia of bombing their own pipeline? Now they're the ones who are fighting against that pipeline being restored. Now let's think about how dark this is. Friedrich Merz is a former BlackRock executive that is now telling the German people that they must accept sacrifices and suffer in order to support his war. Despite the fact that Germany's economy is in shambles, the country has been hijacked by BlackRock, who is obsessed into leading the continent into never-ending war. Another reason why this is deeply troubling is because this is Germany sending a clear message to Russia that their hostility and their conflict is permanent. The European ruling class is completely deranged, and they will never stop fighting against Russia, even at a great cost to the quality of life of their own people.
Global capital is enacting policies that don't have anything to do with the welfare of the people. I don't know how long this can really go on without some kind of blowback. Here's another good video about why rent is going sky high. Rental prices in America have skyrocketed because leasing companies are coordinating using algorithms and price fixing. This was exposed and proven, and now the housing cartel is suing to keep jacking up your rents. Let's listen to this.
I think it's laughable to try and say that the First Amendment protects your right to illegal price coordination. You don't have a First Amendment right to screw me over.
RealPage is now suing Berkeley after the city council banned their software. Their defense? Free speech. Yes, you heard that correctly.
The reason they did that is to prevent the law from even coming into effect to begin with.
So why did Berkeley want to ban RealPage in the first place? Here's how RealPage works. The company collects data from landlords like local rent prices, lease dates, and occupancy levels, and generates pricing recommendations aimed at maximizing landlord profit. On investor calls, they're flat out saying the algorithm is going to recommend higher lease rates for every property.
Over the past 9 years in the larger East Bay, rents have gone up 19%.
That's Debbie Potter. As chair of Berkeley's Housing Advisory Commission, she brought the ordinance to the city council.
Rising rents have been very impactful, and Berkeley has gotten whiter and it's gotten wealthier. The impact of the ordinance is to go back to the old-fashioned competitive way of setting rents, which in turn will keep rents from rising as quickly as they have been over the past 5+ years.
Berkeley isn't the only city that has taken action against RealPage. 5 others have banned the software in the last 10 months alone. Faced with federal and state lawsuits,
we allege that this software is developed, marketed, and sold to enable landlords to sidestep vigorous competition in the rental market.
along with multiple locality bans.
Providence is now the 6th city in the country to pass a rental algorithm ban.
RealPage is in a tight spot, and suing Berkeley is one way for the company to ward off more restrictions.
If a city thinks if I pass this law, I'm going to get sued and it's going to cost me however many tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars, then they might just not do it.
And in Portland, Oregon, the city council pulled its proposed ban on RealPage software, citing the lawsuit against Berkeley as the reason why.
And so that's why part of why it's so important for Berkeley to defend this lawsuit and to win in court.
Okay. That's one of the things that's happening in the rental market. Obviously, you have these huge companies like BlackRock, State Street, Vanguard buying up properties, and they're able, because of their capital, they're able to sit on the property. There's all kinds of things going on that are keeping houses off the market and keeping prices up. I'm sorry, I don't know what we're watching here. There's a rental application scams going on. There's all kinds of stuff. Right. Private equity buying up houses, jacking up rents. And they're the ones that can afford to have these properties stay empty if they don't get the money that they want. And I feel like there is it's kind of an obvious direct correlation between the fact that the rents are sky high and the homeless population is sky high, right? So, confused face, curious face. Why are there so many homeless? Why are the rents so high? I don't even know what the estimation of, what the, I guess maybe I can find it. What the hourly wage would have to be in order to afford rent in a city like Los Angeles. Probably in the $35 an hour range. But what's true for LA is quickly becoming true for the rest of the country. So, yes, there are cheaper places. Oh my God. Oh my God. It's worse than I thought. There are cheaper places to live for sure than LA, but this is what I'm hearing everywhere, that, house prices are becoming out of the reach of many. Listen to this. To comfortably afford rent in Los Angeles, you typically need to earn significantly more than the federal minimum wage. According to recent data, you need to earn approximately, are you ready? $42.25 per hour to afford a 2-bedroom rental. $42 an hour. Do you know how many people make a pretty good living and don't even make $42? You know, people who are getting paid. I feel like you have to make over $100,000 a year for sure to make that, right? $42 an hour. $42 an hour. In Los Angeles specifically, the minimum wage is $16.78 per hour. This is not enough to comfortably cover rental. No, this is not. I mean, you'd be hard pressed to rent a room in Los Angeles and make minimum wage and be able to afford it. You probably wouldn't. You'd probably have to work a couple of jobs. To afford a one-bedroom apartment at the fair market rent price, you would need to earn around $30 to $40 per hour, depending on the exact location and size of the apartment. So that, I feel like, is a really, well, that would be the largest contributing factor to why the homeless population in Los Angeles is skyrocketing. Denver says an annual salary of $42 per hour equals $87,000 a year. Okay. So, sure. Jesus Christ. I can tell you people that are making 87 or, 80 grand a year and, holding on. Just clinging. Yikes. All right, guys. Thanks so much for hanging out today. Had a pretty good show today. Had a good turnout. Thanks everybody watching on X. Thanks everybody watching on YouTube. I don't know who is watching on Telegram, if at all. But I appreciate you. And I'll see you guys on Monday. Until next time. I don't know if I have anybody else to thank here. Let me make sure I'm not leaving anybody out. I don't think so. I don't think so. All right. Thanks, y'all. Oh, Denver. Thanks for the Denver hit me up. Gave me $20 the other day. Thanks, Denver. Didn't want to forget you. He was contributing to the enchilada fund. I appreciate it, man. I think that's it. All right, y'all. Did I miss anybody else? Not sure. Maybe not. All right, guys. Peace out.